Hi, my name is Mike Unger. I'm the Stanton County Sheriff, and I'm going to share some information about being a law enforcement officer, as well as some traffic safety with you today. So I'd like to welcome you into my world. Again, my name is Mike Unger. I am the Stanton County Sheriff. I've been in law enforcement for just under 40 years. I've been the Stanton County Sheriff for the last 27 and a half years. So I have a wide array of experience in law enforcement. And I know some of you might have some interest in ultimately becoming law enforcement officers, or at least pursuing a criminal justice career. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about that. Normally when I've presented this program, it's been in person, but obviously with COVID-19, we have to change some things. And usually I do more of a question and answer, so you'll have to bear with me. Basically, some of the real important things you need to know about law enforcement is, being a police officer is one of those true professional careers that you actually do not need a college degree. And I'm certainly promoting college, but I'm just telling you, it is a profession where it's not a requirement. And you don't see that in a lot of professional type jobs. Some of the basic requirements to be a law enforcement officer, at least in Nebraska currently, are you have to be at least 21 years of age when you graduate from the Law Enforcement Academy. Our police academy is in Grand Island, Nebraska, and is currently a 16-week program. You have to be, again, 21. You have to be able to read, write, and understand at 11th grade education level. So you have to pass what's called the TAB test. You have to have a valid Nebraska driver's license, and obviously criminal offenses could hold you out. So I encourage all young people, one MIP is not going to change your ability to be a police officer or really follow any career. But if you have a history of getting multiple alcohol violations, especially DWIs, then it could hamper your ability to become a police officer, at least in this state. Drug violations would fall into that same category. Marijuana is illegal in Nebraska. We strictly enforce it. I tell young people, if you want to smoke it, move to Colorado, but it's illegal here. So those are things that if you really want to follow this type of a career path, you really have to keep into mind. You got to keep that criminal record at least somewhat clean. Also, you got to watch your speeding tickets. Now, I'm somebody that knows I got my first speeding ticket on my 16th birthday, 6 hours after I got my driver's license. And I had a habit of getting a few more when I was young. I will tell you that obviously, in this day and age, traffic violations could affect your ability to be a law enforcement officer, or really any job, because insurance companies now hold companies accountable for their employees. So you got to keep that lead foot down. And those are just important things that everyone should do no matter what profession you're following. Why do I do this? I have to be honest with you. When I started, it's something I just wanted to do from the time I was a little kid watching old police shows. I've enjoyed it. The reason I continue to do it is I really do enjoy helping people. This is a profession where you can truly help people. Now, they give you a gun and a badge when you become a police officer, and you have a lot of authority. You have the authority to just stop and detain people and basically take away their civil rights if they're breaking the law. And it's a job that you have to take seriously, because there's consequences, not only when you do that, but if you do it improperly, you then have civil litigation consequences that they can come after you. And that's a big thing, especially in our current climate, because we see the social media bashing law enforcement continuously. I could talk for hours just about that. But why I do it is I just enjoy helping people. It's never the same thing. I'm not on a factory line where I do the same repetitive thing day after day. Very few days are similar. Some days are very boring. Drive around, sit in an office, don't do much of anything. Other days it's excitement from the start of the day to the end. I tell people when I hire them, you're going to get your job, you're going to live in 5-minute increments. You're going to have 5 minutes of excitement, which might be life and death, fighting for your life. And you have to be prepared for that. You go from total boredom to having to fight for your life, somebody trying to take your life or harm someone else. So it's important that you know those things going into it. You have to have a good background in English. I would say English is probably the most important class that you can take in high school and college level classes, because we write a lot of reports, lots of paperwork. And I'm not going to lie to you, I wasn't the best person in high school when it came to English. And I learned in college it was tougher, but I will tell you I've gotten to be pretty good at writing reports. And my grammar's improved greatly over these years. So I would say that's one of the most important classes you can take and lean on would be English-related classes. Pay's not bad. I can honestly say that pay-wise, we're finally at a point where most of my deputies make us an honest living. Obviously, it could always be better, but it's not a low-paying profession. Obviously, the bigger agencies pay better, and a lot of people start small and move to bigger agencies for that reason alone. But there's a lot of excitement in this job, and there's a lot of tragedy. And we deal with everything from good things that people do to the bad things that they do. I've seen a lot of death and tragedy in my career. I've also seen some positive things. I've delivered a baby. I've helped others. I've done CPR on people and they survived. So those are positives. But realistically, now is a tough time to be in law enforcement. It's really hard for me to stand up here and say, hey, get into it, because it is tough. Social media has made it so difficult for law enforcement to do their job. Just because it's on Facebook, folks, doesn't mean it's true. Most of the time it's not true. There's good cops, there's a few bad cops like any profession, and we do weed those out. I've had to fire people before for doing improper acts, and it's not easy to do, because in a small agency you become very close to your employees. It's more of a family setting. But we have a job to do, and we do it. Like I said, the benefits are pretty good pay. We have, generally speaking, that health insurance usually comes with a government type job. Those are big things if you have a family. When you're 21 and single, no, it's not a big deal. But trust me, when you get married and have children, health insurance is big, and tentatively, law enforcement agencies tend to give pretty good benefits when it comes to health and life insurance and things like that. Again, it's not for everyone. This is a tough job, and it's gotten a lot tougher. We have mandates that are put on us every day anymore. Just recently here in Nebraska, they passed a bias mandate. So we have to all take bias training. It's required now every year, 2 hours. I'm not going to say it's good, I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's just one more thing that's being put on our plate when we already have a lot on our plate, just doing our daily work. So I encourage anyone that really has an interest in getting into law enforcement to contact somebody in their local hometown or county sheriff. I'm available at any time. You can certainly reach out to me. We need people to get into this profession, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to come after you and beg you to do this, because you have to want to do this. If you don't want to be a police officer, then I'll be frank with you, you're in the wrong profession. You have to want to do this, especially in this day and age. So I'd like to take that time to just say thank you for allowing me to talk about that a little bit.